let's start over. There's no need to have any of that in, really.
And cut.
Let's see.
Wait. Ask Kazra what his badge number is.
Kaz, what's your badge number? What's your call number? When you call in on the phone, what number do you call?
Don't worry about it.
Why do you not know? You've been listening to the game. Go call the police station.
Anyways, when
Because
last
Marshall wants to know.
when last we left
I
the
was
party,
making a joke. Don't worry about it. He says it like 50 times during the game.
He doesn't know.
Uh-oh. Better call the
I've already told him he's a horrible cop. When you played, did you
All the
like
cops
run
in-
into
So,
every car
guys,
on the
I don't
road
mean to
going
interrupt,
places?
but we're going to have a short session today anyway.
All right. Yeah, you're right. Let's go.
don't mind me. I'm just pulling up. Whoa, hey, why is there sound? There shouldn't be sound. You're on mute. There we go. Okay, so a month has passed. Several things have happened. There's been a lot of world building, a lot of empire building. Ice Shipping is doing its thing. I talked with Snarg and Guido a bit off camera, and I've got some emails, and we're going to coordinate more with that. But I think both of you are okay with doing all that off camera, the remainder of that.
Yeah.
I'll probably give a summary of that on camera, either in a session or in one of those story thus fars. So it has been a month. Things have been progressing. You guys are at Fox Ridge. And not much has changed, as I think I have already mentioned, but just to make it absolutely clear, by now, by the point in time which we have reached at April 25th, the show Empire doesn't exist anymore, and has been completely consumed by the Dominion. I say consumed. It makes it sound horrible. They have willingly... so the show Empire was dissolved. The Civil War ended on the side of the Alterationists, and they have moved... They actually petitioned for entry as members of the Dominion, and they have been accepted. Currently, the single most powerful political entity within the Dominion is Lord Farron of Silent Blade. He's been doing his own thing, and you guys have probably encountered him a couple of times. But what matters right now is that an agent of the Dominion comes to you at one point or another and says, "Excuse me, I hesitate to intervene with your important matters, but we're
just eating. It's fine.
You're just... Well, there's a lot of bacon on the table. I thought surely that was for more than
Bacon
just
chili.
the three... Bacon what?
Good. Bacon chili.
Oh, I thought you said bacon jelly. Excuse me, ma'am.
Chili.
No, that's what comes off of bacon after it's in the fridge.
Actually, I was going to say, there is such a thing as bacon jelly, and it's super gross.
It's just congealed grease.
Anyways, Abilene is practicing her expressions. So, I have a potential... well, I shouldn't say a potential. The Dominion has a task for the three of you, and of course we're willing to pay fair share if necessary, but the idea is that since you guys are technically members of the Dominion, maybe this might be something you'd be interested in doing. Since
Thank goodness. You wouldn't believe how much paperwork time skips involved.
we've been kind of supporting you this whole time.
Any paperwork for the time skip.
You've been kind of busy though, and by kind of I mean like 10 hours a day practicing.
Yeah.
As some of you may or may not be aware,
On Guido's shoulders.
The rogue psionic agent had been crafting an entire citadel made out of one solid chunk of aetherite. Now this citadel, which is also flying, and the gentleman pauses like he can't even believe what he's saying. Flying citadel of aetherite is still currently stationed somewhere near the crater region. And we have a fairly good idea of where it is, but it is currently under the possession of the Olthoi. Now, the Dominion, of course, has no antagonism whatsoever towards the Olthoi. That would be ridiculous. But we do need that citadel either to be in our care so we can either try to utilize it or study it. I mean, think about the advancements that we can make in weaving from that kind of level of weaving, just from trying to reverse engineer it. Or we need it to be destroyed to make sure that it's never used in a way that would be horribly destructive. I mean, just to name one simple thing off the top of my head, dispelling all of the magical energy that's keeping that citadel in one piece and floating, just that action, nothing else, would probably result in a second crater. So, that's one of the options. However you there's a lot. Well, I'll discuss more details if you choose that one. But we have one other thing that's kind of urgent as well, and we'd kind of like you to look into. There's been some reports of a tower made of glass and mirrors that is present in the former kingdom of Alluvia in the Rithwick province, and we've been getting some strange reports in the area, and we haven't been able to actually infiltrate it. We have actually sent agents before; they have not returned. So we are interested in sending someone a little more high level.
Oh, like level 12, high level?
No, I mean like of a higher tier of personal capacity.
Ah, I see. Almost.
This is a level 13 plus mission.
Oh, this is red guys in the quest log.
Yep.
I'm gonna group up for this one. Well, I gotta say, that's some interesting choices there. I, for one, have actually quite a bit of interest in the fortress, although I would think our skills would probably be put a little better to use at Mirror Tower, where it sounds like sneakiness and perhaps combat effectiveness may be a little more important.
Well, admittedly, one of our reasons for approaching you about the Citadel is the fact that we believe that sending someone of a level of both power and influence as your three, we need to come up with a party name at some point, as your three would, the Order of the Weird, I don't know, would send a very strong message to exactly how serious we're taking this with the Olthoi. And of course, you would be people who would be better equipped to deal with whatever happens to be in the Citadel itself. We don't have full reports on what's going on there exactly. Not that I wish to disagree with you, Mr. of Wildpaw. I'm just trying to emphasize the situation.
Okay, I got you. I'm just a little less worried about the Olthoi doing something incredibly weird with it than I am the other thing.
I would believe the concern with that wouldn't be so much that the Olthoi would do something weird with it, so much as some other entity might enter into negotiations with the Olthoi, and through deception convince them that they would be best to utilize the Citadel and thus would be able to turn it into some kind of war machine against us. Or conversely, they might have perfectly innocent means, but in their investigations of it, perhaps to further study weaving, a catastrophe might occur wherein that they accidentally cause something. Correct?
Well, to make one other thing clear, I do agree with you, ma'am. But to make one other thing clear, we do trust the Olthoi with the Citadel. That's not the issue. Imagine for a moment if someone else out there who was more, shall we say, combat capable decided to invade the Citadel right now and just take it from the Olthoi. The Olthoi are not known for their combat prowess. They are not known for being, militarily minded or thinking in terms of defense or using violence if necessary. They are kind-hearted individuals.
Adventures and stuff.
Yes, but they like to use those to cook. We want to make sure, again, this is why destroying the Citadel is an acceptable outcome. We want to make sure that outcome, imagine the usages of it even literally in a one-shot bomb. Like I mentioned, dispelling the energy. How about something else? How about just dropping it from the sky on something? It is a terribly devastating thing that we can't... It's a very delicate situation. If we were to just send our airship fleet up there, you understand our concerns.
Well, Guido, what do you think?
Well, I have to say the Mirror Tower is very intriguing. While we were aware of the Aetheryte Fortress, this is the first. Okay.
It technically should be pronounced Aetheryte, but I don't care, so it's pronounced Aetheryte.
Gerland's Fortress. The Mirror Tower is a new I'll say, entity in the environment, that's definitely more intriguing to me. I mean, if we're concerned that Gerland's fortress is going to become a weapon, and we need to make sure that it doesn't fall into
Correct me if this is out of character, but Guido, correct me if I'm wrong. The Mirror Tower happened in the Forum campaign. Like, we first became aware of the Mirror Tower in the Forum campaign.
Yeah.
Are you actively trying to deceive?
Yes.
Okay.
As an aside, I mean, even if he's not trying to deceive, it's worth noting that the Gerland Tower the Gerland Citadel is actually a very known quantity. Nobody knows what the hell's going on with the Mirror Tower.
Nope. Yeah, it's not common knowledge.
Yeah. So, yes, I am being deceitful if someone wants to, roll against that.
I don't think I'll roll. No rolls here.
So it's definitely more intriguing finding out more information on this thing that we don't know about. But if Gerland's Citadel is in danger of becoming a weapon, that's definitely something we need to address before it gets to that point. So,
Oh, I mean, a flying citadel.
well, hovering.
We are not sure if it's capable of motion yet, to be 100% honest. But it is in the air, yes, quite a ways.
So a floating, possibly capable of flight citadel. I would think that would be more of an immediate threat than just some tower made of glass.
So I'm not arguing that it's more of an immediate threat or known threat. I'm saying the Mirror Tower being an unknown, we don't know if it is more of a threat.
I see. Better the devil you know than the one you don't.
Mr. of Wildpaw, do you have anything to add to these discussions?
You're muted.
Mr. of Wildpaw, you seem to have lost your voice. Swallow before you speak, sir! Swallow!
Choking bacon. No.
Put your jaw back on.
Oh yeah, that was the problem. You're like, oh, hang on. There we go.
I've actually already made up my mind for a variety of reasons. I would
Neither!
ask in favor of going to the fortress.
You want to go to Gerland's fortress?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I mean, like Snark was saying earlier, I can kind of get his point there. The Mirror Tower is going to involve, some sneaking and possibly subterfuge, especially if it's, armed with personnel or something. And no offense, Guido, but you're not so good at the sneaking, and neither one of you is really good at the subterfuging.
I wasn't planning on sneaking up to the tower. and that is in character.
Yeah, no, I believe it.
Perfectly deadpan.
I believe it.
I mean, I guess if it's a tower made of mirrors, it's probably pretty easy to break.
Walk up with an airship. Just run into it.
No. I was going to go up and knock.
Oh, okay.
Or you can get the fortress and drop
Really
it on
hard.
the tower.
With an airship.
Yeah, that's a valid point. You could just take take control of the citadel, fly it over, and
Without even checking anything first.
No, just smash it. Whatever's in there, orphans, puppies, kittens, smash.
Dogs and cats living together.
Are you
Total
still on
fan.
the Carwood?
So, do we have a consensus so I can give you more information?
Yeah, I mean, you guys want to go to Gerland's Citadel, so I'm not going to fight that decision. If it's considered more of a threat, let's do it.
Now, what we know about the Citadel right now is unfortunately kind of limited. We do know that the Rogue Scion crafted it somehow, and we are not certain where the Aetherite came from.
I could probably tell you that.
Where did it come from, Mr. Walpo?
Did he just I'm trying to remember back to when I actually saw
He
him.
pulled it off one of the
basically
little cells. right?
Wasn't he just like pulling it
Basically,
from various
creating
locations?
it out of air.
Actually, Guido has the right of it.
No.
He was actually creating weaving, which is really, 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 really hard to do in general.
So yeah, so he made it.
He the guy pauses for a moment and just stutters over his words.
Made aetherite out of what?
That reminds me,
Air.
Abilene, could you do me a favor and roll
No.
int?
17 plus whatever my int is.
That's
Hold
good
on.
enough. That's good enough. Congratulations.
Well, hold on, I might get more.
All right,
'Cause
right.
I have a high
That
int,
is valid.
so
That is valid.
That's 25.
25, okay. So congratulations. Not only have you heard of aetherite, most people haven't, but you have an idea of what it is. Aetherite, of course, being an extremely powerful form of, shall we say, how do I put this? Magic reflective material. I'm saying this kind of wrong. Okay, so there's 4 magically inclined materials. I'll just give you a quick thing, because you got a frickin' 25. So
I am a weaving mite.
so
I've been
magicite.
studying really hard for the last month.
That's true. Magicite.
That were given to me by a Solteris.
Wait, so is that when you say they might know something about it?
You
Mag-
only live like 5 minutes up the street.
You're fired.
I can come up there. I have your address. I never mailed your cookies. I forgot.
Oh my god, you terrible person.
They're in a plastic baggie and they're sugar cookies. They're fine. I just might need to make you some new ones.
The cat was sad.
She can't eat sugar cookies.
I've never tried before. You want to eat? Oh, she looked up at me when I said that.
Sorry.
He's like,
Guido's giving us the we need to shut up look, and
Okay.
Brother is laughing at us getting off topic again.
all right.
Magicite is a type of magical ore which slowly grows over time if allowed in proximity to other magicites. It is an ore that produces magical energy. It's easily used as the battery of most
Wait.
weaving. Okay?
It's not an abiotic ore.
I don't know what an abiotic is, but
Abiotic is things that are non-living versus biotic, which is things that are basically.
oh, then yes, it is abiotic, but it does grow. Next thing, so in opposition to that is chozerite. Now, chozerite is extremely rare. Sorry, viewers, that's my BattleNet. That's PAX.
Pax, shut up.
I didn't even realize I had that unmuted. I'm sorry. I usually mute everything when I start these. There we go.
You're being shotted at.
So chozerite, which is again exceptionally rare. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Guido and Snarg have never heard of chozerite. But chozerite is the exact opposite. It is an ore that absorbs magical energy into it. It is basically a super secret thing that is considered a nationally protected resource of the Osteth Republic. You only know about it, Abilene, because you are a very high-level Magitech wielder, and chozerite has been used in Magitech inventions in recent years. Then you have Pyrial. Now, I think everyone knows what Pyrial is. That's magic conductive metal.
oh, yeah,
It's
you
like-
can have some of that.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's super conductive. It's like the best material for weaving in terms of just
Copper.
usage. Yeah, it's basically frickin' copper. Then you have aetherite, which is the exact opposite, again, of Pyrial. It bounces magic completely off of it. It has been considered common knowledge that it's actually physically impossible to weave aetherite because it's a magic opposing thing, right?
To weave with aetherite.
Yes.
The statement "to weave aetherite" could also be taken to create aetherite.
Well, yeah, obviously that's
Is also,
also a little bit.
but it's noteworthy that you were talking about the former, not the latter.
Yes. So this is the incredible knowledge of weaving that you have, my dear Hebling.
I'm very smart.
Also, sugar cookies. I have totally lost my thread of thought now. So
I was being incredulous at Snarg
oh,
that he created aetherite out of thin air,
right. So
and that he made a citadel out of said
yes,
aetherite.
a fairly large citadel. We don't know much about
what
it.
What did he hew it like logs, and then
No, he was just sitting there floating in the
Poke
air.
it together with
Ooh.
Now, one of the problems we've been having is, as you might imagine, it is magic resistant, so we haven't been able to scan it. Not with airship scanners and not with scan. We don't know much about it other than the fact that it's there and that the Olthoi, well, we think they have it. We sent out an envoy to them. Actually, I should be more clear. The Directorate sent out an envoy to them over a month ago. And the Olthoi said, don't worry, we have it. We haven't heard
That's
anything
what they always
since then. So that's another reason why we want someone who is well-positioned and capable of
Now,
dealing
now,
with whatever's
Stark.
there to get there and deal with it.
when you all found the
Skyclaw.
Skyclaw. The Olthoi came in and said, "This is ours now, and its name is the Spurka."
I can't believe you remember the second name, but not the
Yeah, that's
first.
what I said. They're like, no, that's fine now. This is ours.
I remember the current name.
Yeah, I'm just amazed by that, because Skyclaw is a fairly normal name, but Spurka, you know,
I've had many interactions with the Spurka on other
it
characters.
just amuses me. Is there any other information that I could give you three before you're sent off?
Where it
The,
is.
We
The
have a...
emissary that you sent to the Olthoi did come back, though, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Otherwise, we wouldn't have known what the Olthoi told him. We have a rough idea of where it was.
Was?
Well, I mean, we haven't confirmed its identity or location. We've been kind of busy.
Well, it's a
Consolid-
flying fortress of Aetherite. It can't be that hard to find.
You would be surprised, sir.
Aetherite repels magic.
No, yeah, but you look, you use your eyes,
It's in the crater region.
right?
People don't go in the crater region.
So there'll be less things to look through. Perfect.
He's got a
Because
point.
it's super dangerous.
Now, we...
Not even high-level adventurers from the Adventurers Guild would go into the crater region. But they never even sent me there.
Well, apparently it's actually fairly well mapped out or something because they've got the outline right here.
Yeah, we know where the edges of it are.
Yeah. So someone's been there.
On the edges. As long as you don't go into crater, it's normal
No,
levels.
they mapped out a river right into the middle of it. It goes up to the T right there. So we follow the river and we know it'll be great.
Should we go build a raft?
Well, no.
What was the last known location of the Citadel in conjunction to the river that we're going to take a raft on?
Hang on. That would...
Is it drifting? It's light. Is it drifting?
Good question. Where's the river? Oh, there's the river. In relative relation from where we knew it was, I have no idea how to say this. If you look at Havenden,
All right, I see it.
and then you go straight up until the second foothills of the crater region. It's right about there.
Oh, that's near the edge.
Ah.
Please do not choke, ma'am. I know bacon's delicious. Please, show some decorum.
The piece of bacon was too crispy. It wouldn't fold in my mouth.
What's funny is you're probably eating, like, Auric bacon or whatever, which would be huge. And you're a mite.
Kazra wanted to know where I got bacon from.
There's, the secret bacon stash that's at every corridor.
Lately, anytime we talk about food, we talk about it being bacon involved somehow. Would you stop running over lampposts?
So I assume we've got some transportation arranged to at least, or will be arranged to at least Havendale.
Well, this depends on exactly how you want to approach the situation. Obviously, and I mean, this is up to you, and I'm going to say this out of character. You guys can go to the Olthoi directly. You can try to go to the Olthoi through someone else. Kisrith, excuse me. You can... I'm saying this out of character. You can try to just go to where you thought the Citadel was, and just try to get up to it and show up unannounced, which is valid, by the way. I think that's about all the options I can think of.
How'd the diplomat do it last time?
The diplomat went to the Olthoi and said, "So," and the Olthoi said, "Now we have this."
All right. So why don't we contact Kazrenthka? Because that's about the only... Well, actually, technically, as of last week, that's 2 Olthoi I know.
That's true, because you got that, the
You knew a white
what's
mage.
it big?
Cookie.
Olthoi.
Yeah, yeah,
I was
Cookie.
the Bruin this entire time.
Yeah.
The chef, Cookie.
I could
Yeah.
have told you he was an Olthoi.
He was, now,
Must not have been, like, paying attention or something.
to switch
Because
to
I knew he was Olthoi.
in character for a second, the representative will say, if you guys want to simply go straight to the Citadel, we are actually prepared to lend you a vessel, airship, in order to facilitate your transport and just make that happen. Otherwise, I believe you have already been assigned a Sotiris that can handle the other things. Obviously, the Sotiris does not want to just teleport directly onto the Citadel.
Yes. Now, I can understand that. There's
He really
There may
doesn't want to do that. If
There
you
may
talk
be
him into it,
siren
he
ears or
might be willing to. Maybe.
Well, his thingy's not... His zappy thingy's not magic, so what's he worried about for?
He's worried about many things, man.
there's scions that normally build a lot of defenses, most of them automated.
And he's not a combat model. He would like to keep existing. Johnny 5 is alive.
Okay.
You had an idea, I'm afraid.
Yes. Out of character.
Okay.
Okay. First, if I don't know if Guido would know this in character. Could the Sotiris teleport above the Citadel and be able to give me a visual, teleport me above the Citadel to give me a visual of the Citadel?
Guido, if
So
you're
that
going that route, you've already seen inside the Citadel because you saw Garland weaving it.
That's true,
If you
actually.
It's a roll, but if
Okay.
you can recall that picture, you can teleport there.
Okay.
That's
You don't have to have
that's
been there
absolutely
directly.
true.
You can teleport someplace via looking at a picture.
Okay.
That's absolutely true.
Okay.
And it was still under construction, so if you saw inside it, you can actually teleport inside it. Out of character.
Okay. So Guido would know that.
Well, maybe not, because he's only teleported a few times. But if I'm assuming you and Z had extensive talks about how teleportation works,
right. That's
and
that's
she
what I
would
was
have
saying.
told you stories about how she. So it would be your first time attempting it. Would make it a harder roll. But you know it is theoretically possible because Zariel has told you about doing such things before.
Exactly. I'm willing to try.
Although, part of the question here is, was Guido with his speciality versus Z with her speciality, does he have the perfect memory thing that Zariel has going on?
No.
Okay. So there's also that. But Zariel doesn't know she has perfect memory, so she wouldn't have warned you or cautioned you about that.
Nope.
This could be fun.
You have many
You can
options.
imagine a freelancer, green cloud.
Well,
Sasha!
Like a mile away, there's this guy who's just walking along who suddenly is soup.
Goop.
He just...
As a bolt of green flame just arches out of the sky.
Mhm.
too bad you woke up today. Boom. I think that we should probably contact Olthoi buddies. At least let them know we're coming.
Olthoi bodies?
Olthoi buddies.
I mean, I have some contacts with Olthoi that used to work in the Order, but none of them are... Very few of them are still active. What do you have in mind?
Oh, I know at least one who's supposedly still active there. At least let them know that we're coming, because...
Okay. how do you... Ulthway don't have hive mind, do they?
No.
How do you propose that we get in contact? I mean,
Well,
we'd still have to wait for a courier.
I'm assuming the Dominion have some form of contact with them, some way they communicate with them.
They could probably send a transmission to the Spurka, yeah. Spurka's been pretty busy.
Did you mention the Spurka? Snarg?
I thought that would be...
And Ulthway buddy.
Well, if it's not, knowledge to the Order by now, yes. But...
Aha! You know the Spurka, I knew it. We can get a hold of the Spurka if you would like us to, yes.
Yeah. And maybe we can arrange some airship transportation over there. That seems like to be the best way to reach a flight.
I would be interested in... I mean, I've heard lots of things about the Spurka.
It is
I'd be
quite
very
wonderful.
interested. If you have a contact on there, I would love to be on that ship and just have some time to look at all the cool weaving.
Oh, there's a lot of cool stuff in there. I got to go in the captain's place last time I was on there. Or the bridge, rather. That's what it's called. All right. We'll see what they say of the Spurka. Who knows? Maybe they'll give us a ride if they're not too busy.
I would be very okay with that.
Let's just call them up.
I'm just relinking that in chat as a reminder of what the Spurka looks like, because it's been a while.
Oh, it's missing half of its body.
It's...
Oh, those are other little ships flying around.
Yes. It's a small picture.
From zoomed out, it looked like it had gotten blown apart. And there was stuff flying.
This was the Spurka. Oh, God, could you imagine? No, okay, so it takes them relatively little time. They get a hold of the Spurka. The Spurka says, so you want to head to the Gerland Citadel. For what purpose?
Who's it asking?
Who's they asking?
Whoever you... It's a live communication, so whoever they dragged over to the comm.
Snarg probably should not be the one talking to them. I'm just going to put that out there.
It should probably also not be Abilene, because they don't know or trust Abilene.
Guido!
So therefore, by logical conclusion...
Okay, now diagram.
One of you two has the flowery pin, right?
I do, yes.
So, Snarg, you write out what it is you want to say, and then Guido can transmit that.
Most esteemed members of the Orthoi Order.
That's probably going to go through 2 lines of translation right there.
Yeah.
It's going to be like, hello, esteemed members, how are you doing? Is your dinner well?
So, Guido, you're on the comm, and they ask you, why do you want access to Gerland's Citadel?
Nothing. I thought I might get more hungry. I thought a bowl might not be enough. He's mean. He's trying to starve me.
The Olthoi are aware of the Dominion.
I hope so.
There's a peasant farm boy in the middle of Timbuktu who is aware of the Dominion right now.
Okay, I'm just...
Wait, they've come out? They came out of the closet?
The Dominion own 4/5 of the continent.
Yes, but I mean, they've officially come out and
Yes,
named themselves
it's the
as
Dominion.
such.
They got a flag. It's everywhere now.
Okay. I didn't realize that had happened in the interim.
Okay, so the Citadel has come to the attention of the Dominion, and they are worried that it could be a danger to Dareth. And they have asked us to investigate the premises and ensure that there are no additional dangers, be that golems or other creatures, things that Gerland may have put in place that could get loose, and to make sure that is it staying in one place or is it moving? Just a general investigative inquiry.
All right. Now, I am going to have to ask you to roll deception on that.
That's understandable.
I was debating your word choice, but I'll make this a
No.
relatively easy DC,
Ooh, that's not
especially
bad.
since you're talking over a comm. Right? I mean, if you're in person to an Ulthoi, they just look at you and be like, "Dude, you're lying."
So this is charisma, right?
Yes.
So that's going to be 23.
Nice. That actually does beat me. I was worried because I rolled high. Okay. There's a bit of a pause in a discussion, and for the sake of role-playing, what should actually happen here is we'll get back to you, and then some time passes, and then they get back to you. So a few hours later, they get back to you, and it's like, the Spurka is en route to Fox Ridge right now. We'll be picking you up shortly.
There you go. You're muted.
You're also very cute. Are you an...
Oh,
Oh, okay.
I thought they were.
In those few hours.
What?
What was that?
Can I do something there in those few hours?
Sure.
I can get some other intel on this thing, straight from someone who's very loyal to Garland.
Really? I see. Hmm.
Hey, guess what's happening? What do you know about what's going on there?
The Citadel?
I'm sure she'd be very interested in
That
this.
cannot fall into the hands of anybody who we don't trust. Like, I trust you. I mean, you've been pretty good so far, and I'd like to think you trust me. I don't know if that's true or not. But at this point, you are probably one of the only, 3 people in the world I would trust with that kind of power. That Citadel is the anti-world device. No one, if you set yourself up in there, no one's going to be able to besiege you. Not with airships, not with magic, not with troops or arms or anything that's available. You set
So
yourself...
it's just a defensive fortress to bunker.
I don't know.
You don't know.
But I know what Aetherite is, and I know what a flying Citadel is. And I can put the two together.
Okay.
Like I said, you get up there, you don't even really need defenses. You could have, like, a few guys with pikes, and you could hold off just about any invasion that would happen. And if you were able to... And if there's actually some kind of, like, weaponry in there, like, say, some kind of orbital cannon thing, or
Powered by some sort of mammon machine.
or some kind of mammon machine that... I wasn't even thinking of that, actually, but that works. Or some kind of, like, Death Star laser, which even if it fires with just one of the reactor cores, it's still going to crack the crust, right?
Yeah, well, I guess we'll find out then, won't we? I'm sure you'll be very interested into learning what's going on there.
Yeah, this is very, very, very important. I'm sorry I don't have more information for you. I knew it existed, but I thought, like, it wasn't complete. I didn't realize that it was actually functional and hovering over the crater region.
Indeed.
If you find out
I actually
anything...
got to see Garland put it together.
You did?
I did.
Oh my goodness, that must have been a real treat. To see
It was
a
only like
master
10 seconds.
weaver doing that. I mean, that's just insane levels of weaving.
It was. He was literally making the walls out of thin air.
Wow. And you could just kind of hear the fangirl come out for a
Just
second.
out of curiosity, who are those two other people you trust?
Well, the GM didn't think about them, so
Okay.
we'll just, in character, she'll say, no, I was just kind of like making a general statement. I can't think of anybody else off the top of my head.
All right.
Maybe.
The Ulthoi.
Yeah, maybe the Ulthoi. Maybe. Even then, I'm not sure, because, like I say, if the Ulthoi had it and somehow kept it, that'd be fine. But, I mean, can you imagine for a moment if, like, the Ulthoi are like, we've got this place, and they turn it into, like, a resort?
They're real random like that.
Yeah, you can just picture it, can't you? And then all of a sudden, someone comes in with lancers and dragoons, and they just
We're taking over floating Disneyland.
and they just massacre everyone there, and then we've got some kind of lunatic in charge of a floating citadel.
Yeah,
It's the
exactly.
restaurant at the end of the universe.
Yes, yes, and it's crap food. I mean, it's like a 1 out of 3 on Yelp. Anyways, or 1 out of 5, excuse me.
Oh.
Yeah, if you find out anything, please let me know as quickly as you can. So I maybe I can help you figure out what's going on or what's what there.
I'll let you know when we know.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so fortunately, no additional info, but sounds like a very hyped piece of real estate.
Within a couple of hours, the Spurka does in fact arrive at Fox Ridge. It looks like the picture I linked. Abilene, this is your first time seeing it ever. And if I haven't made this point clear, although I'm pretty sure you know this, no other airships look like this. They're all blocky and kind of basic and utilitarian. The Spurka is like this giant, beautiful art sculpture. And also larger than most airships. Yeah, very graceful looking. And again, also larger than most airships are by quite a bit. So it actually cannot physically land here, but doesn't need to. And it brings itself down for a bit, and a little shuttle ship heads out to grab people. No.
All right, guys, I just thought of something. So, normally, in order to actually do stuff with psionic devices, you need to be able to mental link with them.
Right.
So, the Oathly have some way of doing it. And a couple other creatures as well. It might be worth trying to figure out how to do this, at least while we're on the Spurka, so we can actually do stuff with this fortress.
Okay. You want to see if we can get that mental link back?
Or however the Oathly are doing it, or some way. Because I think that would be, because, I mean, what's the use of having this fortress if we can't even do anything with it? If you open the door, it's a problem.
Well, I can get us inside.
You can?
Use magic device.
What's the chance of explosion again?
Well, granted, you did it last time, but it exploded when that happened. I remember.
I'm confident.
Okay.
So I'm going to need
You're confident.
a charisma roll from anyone trying to convince the Olthoi to teach them or explain to them or even answer their questions about how they're controlling a psionic machine.
I don't think I know what scions are.
Wow.
You
Actually,
get
yeah, that's true, I think.
the briefing.
Snark's going to give me the briefing.
Yes.
I want you to do this in character, because I'd really love to hear what in the world.
All right.
Oh my god! Wow,
So the
Guido.
scions
That
are actually
is...
the ancients.
Do you see it, everyone?
It's 26 plus charisma. Wow.
It's a frickin'
Yeah.
20, though. It's a nat 20.
Mm-hmm.
It is a truly rare occurrence for Mr. Guido.
Yeah. So,
He gets unnatural 20s with his...
Yeah, that happens all the time. But a natural 20? Holy crap. All right, remember that. Let's keep that in the background. Snark, I want you to give the in-character summary of the Scions to Abilene. I want to know how completely confused she's going to be about this.
All right, so the ancients are actually the scions, right? There's these ancient race of blue-skinned people who all could talk to each other in their heads, who built all the stuff that, like, everything's based off of. They built a whole bunch of stuff, like a couple of the cities, and they had a bunch of master weavers that built a whole lot of stuff. We went to a couple of their islands and
hubs.
talked with a couple of their machines. They built a Spurka here, but normally you gotta, like, talk with the machines in your head in order to actually make them work, and that's how they keep all their logs and everything. Like, I talked to this one guy who put his thoughts in this log once, and it was really confusing because he was talking with everybody else at the same time, and that kind of made it weird. They kind of had this groupthink thing, so everybody kind of thought the same, but they didn't think the same. Some of them were a little bit different, but then in the end, they all turned out to be the same, and then they put themselves in cocoons and tried to blow up the landmines.
Any questions?
Yes.
So, the ancients called themselves the Scions,
Mhm.
and they had some kind of super fancy weaving-ness.
Well, some of them were really, really good at it. The other ones were, kind of mediocre. I mean, is it fair to say that some of the weavers of now would be equivalent to some of the weavers back then?
Probably better, honestly, but yeah.
They had some people that were really good, but I mean, they had Weavers all the same. Like, I knew this one guy, his name's Gary, he was like leagues beyond, and the guy who made this fortress.
Wait,
leagues beyond.
Garland, the guy that you were talking about that made the fortress that you said was weaving aetherite out of air?
Yes.
Creating aetherite out of air.
Yes.
Was a scion.
Yes.
But all the ancients have been gone forever. I thought you said that he just built this a couple of months ago.
I mean, that's what the term
you were
ancients
alive and
implies,
watched him
right?
do it. Why were you in Crater anyways?
I wasn't in Quitter. It was kind of remote vision. Remember where I told you they had the little mental link thing? There was a lot of weird stuff going on right then. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm gonna turn to Guido, and I'm gonna attempt to whisper while nodding and smiling to Snarg. Is he crazy? Like, should we get him some help?
So, in order, yes and no.
Are
Yes,
you
he's
sure?
crazy. No, we shouldn't get him help. Everything he has said is the absolute truth.
I'm gonna turn to the other guy in here. Are they crazy? Should we get them some help?
It's an Olthoi. We'll say a worker. So the worker kind of leans down and says, "Person that leans way down."
Are you
So-
sure he doesn't just pick me up?
Actually, it's far more likely he's just like.
Wouldn't she still be on my shoulder anyway?
Oh, that's a good point. So the worker kind of just leans over a little bit and says, "Personally, I think all three of you are crazy to go on that damn citadel."
Why? What have you heard about the Citadel?
He just turns to look at you. He doesn't say anything.
Well, in the meantime, meet my friend here who has a 26 plus charisma roll.
That's true. He did roll a freaking 26 before
So-
mods.
So, with my charisma, that's a 31.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna counter roll that. I mean, I think I could technically beat that, but Christ. So no.
I can always burn my social action point.
That's true. Just to really crank it up there. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this I want to make this clear, viewers at home especially. This information is something the Olthoi should not be giving to Mr. Guido. He rolled a frickin' 30. So basically, Guido, this over the process of like the next hour, Guido is going to slowly talk his way into the auspices of one of the Olthoi. It doesn't matter which one, really.
Well, because Rithka's on the ship.
Because Rithka is on the ship,
So
but
it
she
really could be that.
might not know about this. Maybe she does know about this. Well, either way. No, actually, she would have to know about this. So never mind. So she would know about this. So do you want to approach Krizrenthka or anyone else?
Well, in character, it makes more sense to approach Kezrinthka because,
We know her.
well, and
We know her.
we got along well in the early days, and I haven't seen her in quite a while, so I would go out of my way to actually go and say hi.
So I'm going to take over Kizrinthka for just a second. So I want all three of you to go over to Kizrinthka. Kizrinthka looks down at the cute little fluffy fox person, charges over at full tilt, and glomps her, which actually
Wait,
No,
involves...
she wouldn't
leave you
glomp me. She would glomp all three of us.
Oh, you're right, excuse me. Glomping all three. And...
While holding with a set of her extra feet the mite up in the air and going, "It's so fluffy! Can I keep it? I'm sorry, I didn't mean it that way. Would you like to stay with me?"
I need to get a picture to you. Is Skype working right now?
Is it a
Here we go.
weekday or a weekend?
I'm going to send this to Sis, because she's the relevant one. Okay, looks like it's working for the second. I'm going to send it to third, too, and then if it's still working... Oh, Guido's not even on.
I was gonna say, I'm not.
It says you're in Skype. Oh, screw it.
It's
I'll do it the old-fashioned way. Screw it. I'll put it up on my website.
texted me.
Hang on. No, I'll put it on my website.
Put it in Zoom group chat.
I don't have your website.
I'm going to link
Yeah,
it.
put it in Zoom chat. You can message me individually on Zoom chat too.
Doesn't look like I can put images in there.
Just
No,
put a
but
link.
you can send me a link.
Yes, that's what I'm doing now. Anyways, so as I upload this to my website, this is just a joke, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, go ahead and roleplay Kizrenthka, sis. I mean, you know her better than I do.
Yeah, so, she does that. She walks over. She's like, Snarg! Guido! Dunk, dunk, dunk,
Hey,
dunk, dunk, dunk.
Long time
halfway,
no. Ouch.
She spots the mite. And, two of her talons, she has multi-arms, right? She has, 4 arms.
Yes, and the 2 claws. 4 arms, 2 claws. Click the link. Click the link.
Click the link. Oh, yes.
Oh my god. Soft ass.
Anyway, so
I will return the hug.
Okay.
yes, so her arms reach out to hug you. Her claws come down like they're going to stab the mite behind you, and then you see shink, 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 shink as all of the little fingers come out until there's small ones that very delicate, that scoop up the mite and hold it up at face value, off of your shoulder, Guido, and hold it up at face value and say, "It's so fluffy. Can I keep it?" Looking at Guido, realizes what she says, turns to the mite, me, and says, "I'm sorry. I didn't mean that way. Do you want to stay? I have tea."
She makes really good tea.
And she'll say something along the lines of, "Zariel just brought me some fresh leaves, not, maybe a month ago." Oops. I got killed because I wasn't paying attention.
That is usually the cause of death, even in real life. Okay, so... well, okay. Obviously, Kizrenthka... Let me just give you the results, Guido.
Sure.
And then if you want to keep interacting with Kizrenthka, that's cool. But over the course of the next hour, because Kizrenthka knows that this is something she should not give away. And so it still takes you about an hour or so of...
But it's less a trying to convince me to talk about it and more a trying to weave it into the conversation in such a way that I'm not going to notice because Renthika doesn't have a filter.
Yeah, exactly. And
I'm assuming that the offer for tea is for everyone, not just the mite. So.
Oh, no, she meant it to the mite, but she'll make tea for everybody.
Okay.
She'll also make lunch.
Ooh.
So the
Cucumber
discussion
sandwiches.
happens over tea and lunch, and that's how we're able to have the discussion.
The food is, of course, excellent, usual Olthoi quality. And so I'm just going to give you the answer flat. The Olthoi have devices that
I have this new
simulate...
recipe for a bacon caprese salad.
Right.
Okay. I don't know what that is.
I don't either. That's why I'm thinking about it.
Bacon and salad I got.
Yeah, I understand those
So
two.
caprese salad is an Italian salad that's got like fresh mozzarella and tomatoes.
And
Oh,
pasta.
okay.
Sometimes served over lettuce.
It's like that.
Sometimes served.
like
Lettuce,
that with bacon.
optional.
Well,
It's bacon, mozzarella, and tomatoes.
well, a cucumber salad is cucumber
pizza,
and
isn't it?
onions in a dressing.
That's true. That's true. The Olthoi have access to technology, not magic technology and not magic, but technology that simulates psychic abilities. I'm trying to differentiate that from psionic, even though I know that's what the scions use. But you get the idea, right? They have the ability to technologically link up people's minds in a way that they can communicate to each other directly through their brains, which allows them to then also... They can hook that technology up to devices that require that kind of a hookup. I do make the distinction between the Scion mental speak, because if you remember, the Scion mental speak was like a full 100% dump of all information and emotions and opinions and memories in one big go, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is more like literally talking through someone else's mind. A lot more down to earth, and therefore has none of the extremely negative consequences that the psionic mind speak had. So she might, like, as you're talking about, it's like, man, I don't even know how you're running these scanners. Like, oh, I just hook up to the device every now and again, you know. And then a bit of an explanation is what I just said. And so so yeah, I guess that's the end of that. That's the info dump. I'll let Sis decide if Kazrinthka realizes she said that. I can roll
She
for it if you
probably
want.
wouldn't realize it if she said it like you just did. But any like additional detail that they get, she'll probably realize a couple of sentences into it and be like, "I'm not supposed to talk about this, so you really just can't tell anybody."
Okay. Well, we'll assume you get a little bit more of an explanation, and ergo the sentence happens. God, I can't believe you got a freaking 31.
I know, right?
Sorry, I'm still just blown away by that. It's going to take a couple days. No, actually, no, it won't. It'll take about a day to get to where the Citadel currently is, which is not, as it happens, where it was mentioned in the map.
So it is. I would have asked before we left if there were, if I could have weather patterns for craterish area over the last, since the Citadel, so the last few months.
Non-stop lightning storms.
Yes, but like wind patterns and such whatnot.
Lots of wind.
In a specific direction, swirling. My goal is to tell. So weather patterns over crater are limited to crater area.
Yeah.
They're not affected by outside weather patterns and haven't been changing.
That is an accurate statement.
Has it always been like that?
Yes, but it hasn't always been stormy. It's just always been self-contained.
Okay, but recently there's been cyclonic wind patterns resulting in hurricane, lightning-ish storm level weathers, right? Okay, because what I was planning on doing is using that information, the weather information, to possibly see if the Citadel is drifting along said weather fronts, you know?
Well, as it happens, the Citadel is smack dab in the middle of the cyclone.
Has the cyclone been there for as long as... this is things that Abilene would be asking along the way there. Has the cyclone been there in the same, since the introduction of the Citadel?
Not exactly, no. But the cyclone didn't start up until after the Citadel was already there.
Okay. Approximately what kind of time frame? Do we know? Like, was it... Basically what I'm trying to get at is it right after Geralyn's death?
We'll say very, very close to after Geralyn's death.
Okay.
Like within a couple of days.
Okay. Which we wouldn't know the exact date of Geralyn's death because
Yeah.
everybody kind of came to away from there.
What the hell? Focus, you dumb thing. There we go. Sorry. Yes. So the Spurka is actually going to have a bit of a time getting through the cyclone. Actually, so the whole ship's I mean, I've ever been in that kind of a situation. It gets dark outside. The howling wind is just screeching on the hull. The whole ship is shaking. It takes a while. It takes several hours of going through this. While they're going through it, several Olthoi soldiers are assigned to you. Before you enter the crater region, they walk up and say, "How many of you have been to the crater region before?"
This is when Snarg pops up and goes, "I've seen inside it."
Sure.
Abilene's going to say, "I've heard rumors, but I've never been assigned to mission in crater."
All right, so we're here for your protection. If anything should appear in front of you...
Of soldier class?
Yes.
Okay.
If anything should suddenly appear in front of you, you should probably ignore it or destroy it as quickly as possible. If anything should try to speak to you that you otherwise can't see or interact with, you should ignore it to the best of your ability. If you should feel yourself suddenly feeling ill in ways you can't understand, you should treat it immediately to the best of your capacity. If you should suddenly find yourself thinking thoughts that are not your own, you should immediately have some kind of password or statement to say to the other people nearby.
What if we already exhibit some of these symptoms?
Stab!
No,
No.
he's not going to say it.
If Zariel was here, she would say, is it possible to exhibit these symptoms away from the crater area?
No.
But Zariel's not here.
But, yeah.
Mr. Doctor, if the authorized soldiers are right for you.
And
So,
they just start going down the list of basically, if weird crap happens, treat it seriously and treat it immediately.
so
This
inform
area,
us immediately.
yes, we will literally be standing here to help you fight whatever happens, including you if necessary. No offense.
Just don't damage Sasha.
Are we not stopping right at the fortress?
We will be stopping directly at the fortress. However, we are now in the crater region. Right, you've never been to the crater region. This area does not conform to physics in the technical sense of the word. So things don't work quite the same around here. It's a good thing nobody tried to teleport here. That would have been really, really funny.
Exit spells wouldn't take us here.
I'm sorry?
Abilene will pop up and say, exit spells wouldn't take us here.
That is true. Exit spells wouldn't take you here. It is possible exit spells wouldn't take you away from here. It depends. Please treat your stay within the crater region very, very seriously. No.
Right in locked position.
Yeah. Let's see if anything happens.
Also, Zagmus, I sent you a message.
Oh, sorry. I have it muted. And technically, I actually have the AGDQ up there so I can keep an eye on it.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I didn't notice. I haven't been watching it. I just have it there so I can keep track of it. Oh, yes, actually. Sorry. That is something that they will actually offer you.
Okay,
if you ask them upright about it.
That would have been in the discussion with Kezrinthka then. So since we're going into the fortress, and it is a Scion creation.
I want a tin hat.
Well, that's kind of what I'm asking for.
Here you go, ma'am. It's got a
so
little bit of bacon grease on it.
There's a hole for my ear to poke out.
The bacon grease is just to make sure it slides on comfortably.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be asking Kezrinthka if they have a mobile version, a portable version of the device that they use to communicate with the machines.
And the answer, as I just mentioned, is yes, and they will lend you one of these devices with the rather strict admonition that it will be returned. Excuse me. And they...
Of course. Guido, do you mind if I keep an eye on that? I'll hold on to it for you.
You know, I'm just suddenly thinking...
If you ask me flat out, my response will be to study it. I want to know more about this to see if I might be able to eventually commission or create a device.
So I don't think you should use it, but you can certainly hold on to it. But I think Snarg or I should be the ones that actually use it in the Citadel if necessary.
Wasn't planning on, maybe testing it out while we're still on the ship.
These are my thoughts. Can you hear my thoughts? This is so cool.
Testing.
Testing.
No, it'd be more like, testing!
Yeah, it's really, really loud.
Can anybody hear me out here? And then Kesrith comes up and tap, tap, tap. You don't actually say it out loud.
You do
Testing!
test.
Testing! Really loud thoughts. Can anybody hear me out there?
Clear this channel.
Just speak normally.
But yeah, I'm suddenly reminded of like James Bond and Q with his gadgets.
Yeah.
We would like this back in
Yes.
one piece.
In one piece this time. Okay, so what's going to happen is the Spurka are basically going to hover up a little bit over the Citadel, and you're going to be kind of airdropping in.
Oh, okay.
His call number is 1247.
Okay.
It took me a moment to process. So, you have plenty of ways to try and just make the jump. How would you like to make the jump?
What jump?
How far is it?
We'll say 50 feet.
I'm assuming the Oath I just can like fly down.
Well, or jump. Their jump
I've
skills
got
to the roof.
an arm hooked on an Ulthoi. You know, I'm like, I've got Sasha on my back with one arm, and I'm
1, 2, 3, 4.
ripped onto with my monkey gloves and my monkey boots
Okay.
to an Ulthoi. Ready to go
Actually-
when you are.
We'll do this one instead.
I mean, is there any reason I just can't use a rope to go down?
Go ahead.
Or is it like too...
Literally, if you want to do that, one of the Ulthoi will just grab this end of the rope. They can more than carry the weight.
Okay, that works. Unless
So-
it's like thundering and raining and storming.
It is. You've played Call of Duty, right? I mean,
Which one?
all of them do this. You need to airdrop into hostile territory. Everything's
I mean, if you're like in the
doing-
really early ones, the rope is just a stiff block that you just like.
That's not what I mean. What I mean is that you're in the middle of this hellstorm. Like, this is not the eye of the storm. It's still tons
Okay.
and tons of wind, tons and tons of
Basically, I
lightning.
was just trying to figure out if I get on the rope, I'm not just going to be immediately blown off the side.
Probably not. Maybe I'll roll for that.
Okay.
Probably not, maybe.
All
We do
right.
a lot of things with less.
You know, I've been in worse situations, so I'm gonna rope drop.
You gonna rope drop?
Yes.
All right. So
How
roll.
do the Ulthoi feel about Desolates?
They don't care, but I would, and so would Snarg.
Yeah, basically.
Although it's noteworthy, out of character, that your teleportation doesn't elicit the same response as Desolate teleportation.
I'm not sure if you know that in character, though.
Uh,
I'm actually not sure if you know that.
True.
I don't think so because we've been
Because-
actively avoiding trying to do it.
Well, yeah, and Guido's actually been going out of his way to hide his teleportation consistently. I mean, you
Well,
did that just a few
I don't
sessions
know if
ago,
you had a
actually.
chance to talk to Z or not, but Z would have told you that your teleportation did not work the same way
Well,
that.
That's true. It was mentioned to me. It doesn't work like normal Desolate teleportation. I don't
Anymore.
know what that means.
True.
But
Snarg,
that-
give me a roll real quick.
What kind?
Dex. Or strength.
I'll do strength then.
Okay.
I got a 15.
All right, you hit the DC on the number.
Good.
You hold on to the rope as it goes flying into the hole and smashes you into the hole a few times as the wind picks it up.
Ow! Ow! Ow!
And then it settles back down, and then you go the rest of the way down. You take X damage, which is 17.
Meanwhile, I'm sitting on an Ulthoi who has just jumped after you, and I say, "You could have just rode down on the bug." I don't say it that way.
The bug! Grab, fling.
No, I'm like, you could have just rode down on.
You know,
One of our
I'm sorry, I
escorts.
hate to point this out, but the Ulthoi, A, don't want to go down there. And B, you can blink.
I thought you said our soldier friends, our escorts, were coming with us.
They're not going on... okay, you're right. I'm sorry, that is my miscommunication. They're here to guard you on the trip to the Citadel, on the airship.
Oh, you didn't say it that way.
That is true. I didn't, but that is what that is. You three are going in solo.
Ah, well, in that case, I will have blinked down.
All right, so here's what I'm going to require of you.
Hold on. Hold on. Oh, okay. If you're continuing with her, come on.
I'm sorry. Basically, Sis, I want you to do a dexterity roll. Because what's going to happen is you're going to jump, because your blink is an infinite range.
I
You
have
can-
my auto. Oh wait, magic repelling.
Yep, you got it. So, you're going to have to kind of roll and catch the ceiling, basically, is how this is going to work out.
It does give me purchase on anything, so if I can catch a.
That's why we're doing dex. Basically, you have to get the reflex. So what'd you do?
Did you fumble?
Can I catch a snarg? Can I catch a snarg?
Snarg, you are already down there, so I'll give you a dexterity roll.
Or can I like roll into a snarg?
Hang on. I've got a couple
rolled a
ideas
2.
here.
It's okay. My dex is my
dex is
third highest stat.
My dex that's a 6 total.
Second highest if you don't count elemental. My dexterity rolls a 12.
12. Would you like to blow an AP on that?
I guess.
Non-combat. Him.
Oh.
Non-combat.
12 becomes
Place
a
I need him to be to roll into.
12 becomes a 13.
All right, so Snarg, realizing quite quickly what's happening, goes to reach out for you to grab
Because
you.
I'm just like, kunk. Nothing happens.
And you start. So he fails. So you kind of start tumbling. So I didn't really describe the roof that much. Obviously, it's an incomplete roof because the whole thing.
Tumble.
I didn't actually describe the whole citadel. Actually, let me pause for a moment and describe the citadel just really briefly. You've seen everyone who's watching this, including my viewers, has seen Minecraft. I want you to imagine a giant flying citadel that's awesome looking, made of like solid obsidian in Minecraft. Now I want you to imagine whoever made it didn't finish it. So there's just bits and pieces of it that aren't there. Like you see a tower and then the tower just kind of stops at a certain point. And there's chunks of the ceiling that are missing and there's chunks of the floor that's missing. And I don't know what I'm looking at.
It's my Abilene dice. I haven't been using them because they're in a little baggie, and I'm afraid of losing them. So I'm going to pull them back out so that maybe I won't die.
Yeah. So, yeah, and it's actually made of solid aetheryte, which I think I've described before. It is one cohesive chunk. And when I say I made the Minecraft reference on purpose because the pieces that are missing are basically like block, right? Like if you could imagine a block was built and then a block was built and the block was built. That's kind of how the construction of this thing works. And, of course, unfinished. So, as Abilene... So, the roof that you're landing on is kind of slanted. So, she's kind of tumbling.
She really doesn't think about it. She lands on all fours, figuring that she's just going to stick.
Yeah. That doesn't happen. So, she's a little confused and concerned. I did another roll on the side.
Disoriented is the word you wanted.
Thank you. She's disoriented, and she plummets in through the open gap in the ceiling.
Okay.
And I will be rolling how much damage she takes.
So, if I may,
Yes.
before you get to that,
Now,
because
do I reach terminal velocity? I am a fox, and fox are very cats-like. So if I reach terminal velocity, then I relax, and I will cushion my blow.
No, you don't reach terminal velocity.
Darn.
Guido?
Thank you. So while all of the preparation, grabbing onto the Olthoi and all that was, being discussed on the ship, my plan was I'm going to basically go around the corner, and because I can see where our landing zone is going to be, I'm creating a portal to the landing zone.
From where?
The Spurka.
You're creating a portal, or you're teleporting down to it? Because those are two different things. Are you teleporting just yourself, or are you
Just
opening
me.
a portal?
It's just me.
So you're teleporting down.
If I might suggest, it might be safer to jump and then teleport. Just a thought.
Would I know that?
You probably don't want to be seen teleporting by the Olthoi.
Well, that's
Already.
why I was saying I would go around the corner.
Oh, I see what you mean by that. Never mind. Okay, I get what you mean now. Never mind. All right. Okay.
So basically my plan was I'm going to show up, at the landing zone while Snarg is falling or, Abilene is...
All the chaos is happening.
Right. Yeah, so I'm just happen to already be there,
Somehow.
I jumped while you guys were having your discussion.
He's heavier. He'd fall faster. That's just logic.
Exactly. So that
What's
was
really
my plan.
funny, in my science class today, we were talking about the difference between theories and laws. And that was one of the things that we talked about. Heavier things fall faster. It's just the theory of gravity. And they go to the Earth because they're earthy-like, and so they're attracted to each other.
It's logical. That's why, like, bubbles float up. They're not very earthy.
Because they're not as much Earth. Yeah.
It makes sense.
Great college.
Aristotle.
Um, all right. Where's my D8?
I got one.
Wait, go ahead and roll it then.
3.
3. Okay. So you are in what looks like a lava flow.
He is?
He is, yes. You may feel free to freak out for a moment. I mean, like, I'm picturing, like, waist deep in lava or magma, whatever it is. Just...
So, expletive. Do I need to try again?
After a few seconds, it occurs to you it doesn't hurt.
Maybe a few more than a few.
Yeah, there's probably a few moments of just... And you look around, it's just lava everywhere. Like, you are completely surrounded by it. If I were to
just... sphere of lava?
No. Imagine, if you will, like someone made a building out of lava. Just picture it for a moment. He's, like, in between the walls.
And the floor is lava.
And the floor is lava, and the ceiling's lava, and the walls are lava. He's in the... There's a term for that in architecture. I can't think of it, but...
It's another Minecraft building.
Lava.
Okay, so I need to try again.
Well...
Because I am not where I intended to land.
That is true. After a few seconds of bewilderment, you hear this really, really loud cracking noise. And the lava starts to shatter around you.
Shatter?
Yeah. And at about that point, you feel like this... Like, you suddenly feel like your belly is a mile that way, and you suddenly catch up to it, if I'm describing this properly.
Oh.
And you're on the Citadel.
Oh.
And a little...
Okay.
Just, yeah, I imagine you know what that feels like in real life.
Okay.
Did you teleport inside the hole in the wall, or did you try to teleport onto the quote-unquote landing pad that had a...
I thought he was teleporting to the landing pad, but it doesn't actually matter.
No, well, I mean, if that's where we were discussing landing, yes.
Then yeah, you're on the landing pad. Now, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and give you a dexterity roll to see if you can grab her before she goes over the ceiling. At a disadvantage, because you're a wee bit...
Okay.
He needs to see if he needs to make sure he's not going to come off of it.
Like I said, you're kind of wooga wooga at the moment.
I'm guessing I need to do a Constitution save.
I would totally be okay with that. I was going to make you do it, but I would, yeah.
Oh, natural 20.
Oh, nice.
Stop that.
You are doing really well today. So you're just, you take like a second of just...
No, he needs to stop that because what he's doing
wasting
is wasting all of his
That's
points.
true. That's true. You're going to find a diamond golem in there, and he's going to be like, all right, if you roll a 20, you defeat me.
A 1. Okay. So then dexterity to see if I catch Abilene.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a 15 plus dex is... Scroll, you bastard.
Right, I should do that.
So 18.
18, that is enough. So before Sis takes the 20-ish damage she was going to take, I don't remember the numbers anymore. You flunk, and then you probably take a second because you're still probably a little on the disoriented side.
I'm going to take my helmet off and throw up.
Still holding
Abilene. I've got Abilene in one hand, my helm in another, and I just kind of bend over.
Yeah. Abilene, you are a little disoriented, probably actually a huge amount disoriented. You didn't even see Guido. He must have moved so fast to be able to run down there and catch you. That's crazy that he managed that.
Yeah.
Snarg, could you roll an elements roll for me, please?
Elements roll.
I mean, anybody could roll this, but Snarg is much more likely to succeed at this.
Sure.
Like elemental affinity?
Yes, sorry. Elemental affinity
Use this dice because that one's not been very good.
I want to roll too.
Nice. 28.
28. Ooh, nice. That is nice.
I rolled an 18, which is a 28.
Guido?
I rolled a 9.
Yeah!
Hey, I have a 10 elemental affinity. I am like,
I have a negative 10.
Not even.
you get positive numbers, Guido.
I know. That's impressive.
The two of you who are not Guido, sorry, something's wrong with the fire ley line, like more than it already has been. And you feel it run over you like a shockwave. Not a physical shockwave, not like the previous one, which was this big, obvious fireball.
You're gonna kill Zariel.
The energies just kind of hit. Yeah, we need to talk at some point about what this is going to do to Zariel. But so you just feel the elemental backlash, basically. Both of you do.
I'm sorry.
It's gonna be a lot easier to convince
This is
Zariel.
similar to the water temple backlash.
I couldn't hear over both of you.
I said, is this similar to the water temple one?
I ain't saying nothing.
And what I said was, it's going to be a lot easier to convince Zariel that Guido is the enemy now.
But you don't know that I did anything.
Yeah, so Starga's kind of going to
All it
assume
will
that
take
the
is being
fortress did
informed
something.
that you were the cause of it after you admitted to breaking the water temple.
I did no such thing.
It made it better? I mean, if you think about
Okay,
it.
after you admitted to fixing the water temple.
I just happened to be there, and when I went in, it fixed itself. That wasn't anything I did.
Yeah, that's true. If you think about it.
All right. I look down into the little area inside
All right.
this.
There we go.
Fortress.
All right, so you look down. The overall shape of the citadel is not like it's not static. It looks like it was made by a madman. It's not any given shape.
Looks very similar to the woven portion of the air length or Visayan or whatever of the islands that you guys went through.
Yeah. Yeah, very crude, but very
Less traps.
yes. Not a lot of traps down there. What you're looking down into as you look in is, I'm trying to think how to describe this. I want you to picture that you're standing on a roof, and you look in the roof, and what you see down there is like a summer's day. And there is a 3-story tower that is nestled in the room in there that happens to be nestled up against what looks like a small fortress, which is only 1 story tall. There is an obvious staircase actually circling the outside of the tower, spiral staircase going down. The staircase itself is about 30 feet down from where you are now.
Hmm.
I can blink over there. It's not a sheer slippery cliff thing, so I should be okay.
The first thing I'm going to do is regen myself because I got hit in the head with the wall. Okay. And, well, it can blink over there. I'll take
Okay. Increased my dexterity roll by a factor of 4.
Damn it, Gary. Okay, so you regen yourself. Are you just jumping? What's happening? Sorry.
I blinked.
I can
To do a dex roll this time.
put a rope down there again, I suppose, if it's only 30 feet.
Mm-hmm. There is, it's worth noting, nothing to adhese it to up here.
You can toss it to me.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
That's true! Here you go!
All right, so I can jump off the rope and then bring you down when I fall.
I have a 3.
Tie the
There might
rope
be
around
something I
Guido. Let's go,
can
buddy!
find. No, I run up the stairs and then like jump down and...
Oh, I'm sorry, really quick. The Spurka is already gone.
Okay.
I meant to clarify that.
They did a drive-by paradrop.
Basically,
Did
yeah.
you do any rolls to see if we saw things while we were flying over?
I did, actually. I am
Oh.
amazed that you guys passed all those.
Okay. And I'm assuming that Aetheryte and resistant, in addition to being magic resistant, is also very hard.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes is the answer.
Punch.
Actually, weird question. What kind of terrain is this?
Weird.
So, actually, every...
It's magic retardant, so
Well,
it's
well-
no terrain for you.
Well, that's actually an interesting point.
Geomancy is a form of magic.
Actually, I think I agree with that. Now, that being said, since you're on the outside of the Citadel right now, you can cast Geomancy powers
I'm not.
right now. So every 6 seconds, and you can tell this, the terrain type is changing.
Okay.
It's just cycling around.
This would be an interesting place to do that.
Every 6 seconds?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you said?
Every turn, yeah. Or every round, excuse me.
All right. Who wants to become a desolate?
Guido will be like,
You could turn Abilene into a desolate. I mean,
I could. You want to be a desolate, Abilene?
then you turn yourself into a desolate, and you actually have a party of desolates, finally.
Yeah, we're not gonna do that.
kind of.
Kind of, sort of. I have a different playlist for this area. We're going to switch to it. Now, I don't mean to rush anybody, but they are wrapping up the Kirby run, so we're looking at about 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay. Well, and there's nothing, even though this ceiling is all broken apart, to tie off at.
You could try to, like, get one of the blocks that's out, like this, and wrap it around that, but you're not sure that's going to be safe, especially given how jagged the edges are. Like, any back and forth movement will probably cut through the row, if you follow what I'm thinking. But you could do that if you wanted to. It just wouldn't be super safe.
Oh.
You could also just jump.
Yeah, I guess I could just jump and try and soften the fall. So it's 30 feet.
Okay.
Worst thing in the world.
Go ahead, just give me a strength roll then.
All right. The strength roll is a 10.
I'm going to get out of the way.
You take 12 damage from that.
Ouch. Exactly.
That was a high roll, actually.
Your regen should still be in effect, though.
I did a low one.
Oh.
Oh.
When out of combat, I normally don't cast a huge ones that I do in combat.
Well, not, but I meant, isn't it, like, over a few seconds? You know, a few minutes?
I did a regen too, so it takes for 12 seconds, and that's it.
Yeah.
Oh.
2 rounds.
He might literally... I mean, whatever. Guido, how would you like to get down?
Condemn. There's something that allows for a feather fall or some effect.
That's
Remember
true.
what-
It's like slow or something along those lines.
Yeah. So, on the off chance that I get lucky, that's an 8. I don't think that's the right one.
I don't have the list in front of me.
I'm pulling it up. I had my printout, but apparently... Oh, wait. Here we go. Still wing. Holy crap.
Oh?
So... Oh, wait, I need to see if it's a critical. So... It's not. Applies a 1x level round stop. So... I don't think that's actually helpful.
I don't think that actually even goes off, because, like, even targeting yourself,
Really? Oh.
it specifies enemy, I'm pretty sure. Unless you do a
Okay.
critical failure.
That's unfortunate. Okay, well, then never mind. I didn't do that.
Okay.
It's not too bad on the knees. Just come on down.
Yeah.
Except he's a lot heavier than you are. And,
He
heavier
is.
things fall faster and harder.
That's true.
Yeah, but if I hadn't fallen as fast as I did, I wouldn't have caught you before.
That's true. That's how he caught you, even though you jumped before he did.
And if you want to roll deception on that, you're welcome to.
That's a 14, 17.5.
Uh, 15. So
you get the sense that he's blowing some smoke here.
You're blowing some smoke, but I don't know if it's because you're lying about how physics work or...
exactly.
Give me a strength roll, Guido.
Okay. I'm assuming this is not a save of any kind.
Correct. It's just flat
Oh,
out
that
strength.
sucks.
You do get your D8 or whatever you're up to at this point.
Why
Yeah,
are you shooting him in the car?
Doesn't. That's an 11.
Well, that's going to be full damage then, I'm afraid. Although I rolled crap this time. I got like a 7 or 8. So that's going to be 8. 3 dice. That's just you take internal 8 damage. No bypassing that.
No damage reduction. Okay.
Yeah, it's
So
falling damage.
Sure.
But you're there. You don't even crack the ground. Neither did Snarg, actually. If you look up...
I'm assuming we have fully healed since...
Yes, you've had tons and tons of time to rest. No, in the last month, you never actually cast heal on yourself for a month. You're just like, the whole time, you're bleeding everywhere. Just like, another few days, it'll be fine.
I figured I should ask,
Just gonna soldier through it. You look up, the gap is still visible there, and you can still see the raging storm
what I
outside
just
of
realized?
it.
Hold on a second. I gotta find Kez's...
I'm going to keep describing this. You see the raging storm through the gap in the ceiling, but you don't see the ceiling. The gap is like the aberrant. Everything else just looks like sky. You can see the sun up above it. There's some clouds way up there, Now, it's worth noting you've actually seen this kind of thing before, from Gerlin, actually. The indoors-outdoors thing that he does. It's not an illusion.
Rabbits.
It's just, the rabbits. You remember that.
Kez could have cast float on all of us before we left in order for us to just kind of walk across to the Spurka.
That's true, but unfortunately, Kez had just found this really fascinating animated, comic thing, and she was reading it, and she got so immersed in it that, you literally waved your hand in front of her face, and she just was like, reading, and so... Unfortunately, she was not able
Casper
to.
would really enjoy that joke.
Unfortunately, she was not. Okay, so you are now in Gerlin's Citadel. Now, you're at the top of the tower. I have 3 full maps for this place.
Did we want to actually cut it there?
That's kind of why I'm asking. I've still got a few more minutes if you want to get a little bit further, or if you want to do the narrative, let's chop it off now that you've entered the Citadel, I'm okay with that.
I think we should probably chop it off, otherwise we'll have to go through the whole beginning again.
I agree.
And Zan is so distracted. Thank you for demonstrating in character what Kizrenthka was going through. I really appreciate it. Do you agree, sis? Okay. Well, thank you all for gaming with me today. I did enjoy it. Sorry for the smaller session, but oh my god, they're doing Zelda next!
Oh, I did have one question.
Yeah, go ahead.
How many of those crystal balls do I have now?
Oh, that's a good point. Let me roll for it. It's a roll right now. I don't remember how many you had, so I'm just going to tell you how many more you're about to have. 14 more. Which is hilarious, because you still haven't used any of the frickin' things.
So I think I had 5, and then you said I teleported again. But if you want to just go with 5 plus 14...
Let's just do 5 plus 14 for now, and lock that in. Because I can't believe I rolled a 7 and a 7 on that. Wow. Anyways, use one of those. Is it, so I'm good for next week. Is everyone else? What's everyone else's next week?
Next week is the 19th. Yes, I am fine.
Guido?
I'm 90% sure there's no issues, but I just want to double check.
Okay.
Yep, I'm good.
Okay.
Go to the left.
Well, then I will see you guys next Thursday.
All right, we'll see you then.